By sunrise, my husband had emptied our joint account, taken our daughter, and left my wedding ring on the kitchen counter beside a note that said, "I had chosen my career over my family." The refrigerator hummed too loudly in the silence. Cold tile pressed through my stockings. Burnt coffee from the pot Marcus had forgotten to switch off hung in the air, bitter enough to sting the back of my throat. I stood there in my dress uniform, one hand braced against the counter, listening to the soft tick of his watch where he had left it beside the ring. My phone vibrated against my palm. A message from Marcus filled the screen. "Do not come to my sister's house. Lily needs stability." Then another sound reached me through the phone speaker. My own voice. "Negative. Nobody leaves until the final vehicle crosses. Redirect west. Bring the entire unit home." The rescue recording was still open from the hearing the day before. That recording had saved my promotion and ended my marriage. My name is Danielle Brooks. I was 41 years old, a commander in the United States Navy, and until that morning, I had believed the hardest thing I had ever done was order a convoy through fire, while a superior officer begged me to save him first. I had been wrong. The harder thing was learning that the man sleeping beside me had spent months helping that officer destroy me. 12 hours earlier, I walked into the review room believing my husband would be waiting inside. He had promised he would come. The room smelled of floor polish and freshly opened files. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. My uniform collar scratched my neck. 6 officers sat behind the long table, with Rear Admiral Miriam Cole at the center. The chair behind me, the one reserved for family observers, was empty. Marcus had texted 20 minutes before the hearing. "Parking now." I checked the doorway once. Then I stopped. Captain Russell Hale sat across from me with a thick file under one hand. At 58, silver at the temples, he still carried himself as if every room belonged to him. 12 years earlier, I had heard that same man breathe like a trapped animal over a damaged radio. At the hearing, he looked calm, almost amused. Rear Admiral Cole opened the session. "Commander Brooks," she said, "this review concerns material submitted after your selection package advanced to final consideration. You will have an opportunity to respond to each allegation." "Yes, Admiral," I said. Hale leaned back. The leather chair creaked beneath him. Rear Admiral Cole turned toward him. "Captain Hale, you requested standing as the reporting source. State your concern." Hale lifted my service file, held it for a moment, then threw it onto the table. The slap of paper against wood cracked through the room. "You are not here because of merit," Hale said, staring directly at me. "You are here to fill a quota." A pen stopped scratching at the far end of the table. Heat rose beneath my collar, but my hands stayed flat on my knees. Hale wanted anger. I saw it in the slight lift at one corner of his mouth. He wanted me to become the woman he had already described. So I looked at the file he had thrown. Then I looked back at him. "Which specific performance entry are you disputing, Captain Hale?" I asked. His smile faded a fraction. "All of it," Hale said. "The rescue citation, the command evaluations, the accelerated assignments, the repeated benefit of doubt." Rear Admiral Cole's gaze shifted toward him. "Captain, generalized objections are not evidence." Hale opened the file. "Then let us discuss evidence," he said. He pulled out a printed email. My stomach tightened before he spoke. "Commander Brooks attended marital counseling after what her husband described as repeated emotional instability," Hale said. "She requested emergency leave during a critical planning period. She sent messages stating she was exhausted, overwhelmed, and unsure whether she could continue." My pulse struck once, hard, beneath my jaw. Those were not military records. The counseling appointment had gone to our family email. The message about being exhausted came after Lily spent a night in the emergency room with a severe asthma attack. Hale lifted another page. She also told her husband, and I quote, "I cannot keep carrying everyone and still pretend I am fine." The room narrowed. I remembered typing those words at 2 a.m. while Marcus slept beside me. Only Marcus had seen them. Rear Admiral Cole held out her hand. "Let me see that document." Hale passed it across. She read the page without expression. "Where did you obtain this?" she asked. Hale glanced at me. "A concerned family source," he said. The empty chair behind me seemed to grow larger. I heard Marcus's morning warning again. "Do not let Hale make this about race," he had said. I had looked at him through the mirror. "He is the one who filed the complaint," I had replied. Marcus had avoided my eyes. "Then take the delay. 1 year will not kill your career." Now Hale had used the exact word Marcus warned me not to react to. Quota. Rear Admiral Cole placed the document down. "Commander Brooks," she said, Did you authorize Captain Hale to receive these communications? No, Admiral. Did you provide them to anyone involved in this review? No, Admiral. Hale exhaled through his nose. Her husband believed the board deserved context. I turned toward him. You just identified your source, I said. Hale's jaw shifted. Rear Admiral Cole looked at the legal advisor seated to her right. Mark that statement. The advisor nodded. Hale leaned forward. Admiral, the source is not the issue. The pattern is. Commander Brooks presents herself as controlled under pressure, but the private record shows something else. What private record? I asked. Hale tapped the folder. Her own words. No, I said. My words inside my marriage. His eyes brightened. He thought my voice had changed. It had not. I kept it level. Please identify every document you received, the date you received it, the person who sent it, and whether you altered any portion before submitting it. Hale laughed once. You are hiding behind procedure. Procedure separates evidence from accusation, I said. Silence returned. This time it did not belong to Hale. Rear Admiral Cole studied me for a long moment, then closed the folder. We are taking a recess, she said. No one leaves the building. Legal will preserve every document submitted in this matter. Information security will determine the source and access history of the private material. The prior rescue record will also be retrieved in full. Hale's face changed at the last sentence. Not much. A slight tightening around the eyes. A breath held too long. But I saw it. He was not afraid of the counseling records. He was afraid of the rescue. Chairs scraped against the floor as the officers rose. I walked into the corridor and checked my phone. No message from Marcus. I called him. The call rang once, then went to voicemail. The hallway smelled of dust and overheated wiring. An air vent rattled behind the wall. I pressed my thumb against the phone until the case bit my skin. A security specialist approached me carrying a tablet. Commander Brooks, she said, I need your authorization to review access activity on the personal account referenced in the submission. You have it, I said. She asked me to confirm the account address. Then she frowned at the screen. There was a new device login 6 weeks ago, she said. What device? She turned the tablet toward me. The device name appeared beneath the access date. Marcus' office laptop. Several files had been downloaded, and the security alert had been deleted from our shared inbox. My phone vibrated before I could speak. Marcus had finally sent a message. Whatever they ask, do not bring up the rescue. I looked through the glass doors at the parking lot. Marcus's car was not there. He had never been parking. He had never planned to sit behind me. I typed one reply. Why? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. A minute passed before his answer arrived. Because some things should stay buried. Behind the conference room doors, someone switched on an audio system. Static hissed through the speakers. Then a man's frightened voice broke through. Command vehicle is pinned. We need extraction now. I knew that voice. Russell Hale. And before my own voice answered him from 12 years earlier, I understood why my husband wanted the recording buried. Hale had not come to question whether I deserved promotion. He had come to make sure nobody heard how I had earned it. The frightened voice cut off beneath a burst of static. A second voice followed, younger and strained. Command, Eastern route is still unverified. Then Marcus spoke. Eastern route is green. I stood in the corridor with the phone against my palm, while 12 years collapsed into one sentence. Marcus had been 24 then, ambitious enough to mistake confidence for competence. I had spent years telling myself he made one bad call under pressure. Hearing his voice again, steady and certain, stripped that excuse away. The conference room doors opened. Rear Admiral Cole stepped into the hall with the legal advisor beside her. Commander Brooks, she said. The recording is incomplete. The archive team is still authenticating the file. Yes, Admiral. Do not discuss its contents with Captain Hale or your husband. I understand. Her gaze held mine. Did your husband serve in the coordination cell during that operation? Yes. Did he provide the route assessment? He relayed it. That was not my question. Cold air moved across the back of my neck. Yes, I said. He provided it. Rear Admiral Cole nodded once. Remain available. She returned to the room. The security specialist handed me a printed access report. Commander, this copy is for your counsel. The original log is preserved. Thank you. I folded the paper and placed it inside my service folder. My hands did not shake until I reached the elevator. Marcus answered on the 4th call. What did you tell Hale? I asked. His breathing changed. Danielle, where are you? What did you give him? I was trying to help. The elevator doors opened onto the lobby. You gave him counseling emails. He already knew you were struggling. You gave him a recording from our kitchen. You were angry. I was speaking to my husband. Marcus lowered his voice. Not everything said inside a marriage stays harmless. The marble floor felt slick beneath my shoes. Did you access my account from your office laptop? A pause. Then Marcus said, we share passwords. That is not an answer. You are making this sound criminal. I asked whether you downloaded my files. He exhaled. You need to come home before this gets worse. It became worse when my husband handed private messages to a man trying to end my career. Marcus went silent. I heard traffic behind him, not the quiet of his office. Where are you? I asked. I had a meeting. With Hale? Come home, Danielle. The call ended. By the time I reached our street, the sun had dropped behind the trees. Golden light lay across the brick houses, warm and ordinary, while every step toward my front door felt unfamiliar. Garlic and butter filled the kitchen. Marcus stood at the stove stirring pasta sauce. Lily sat at the table with a science worksheet open beside her plate. Mom, Lily said, Dad said the hearing might make us move again. Marcus kept stirring. I set my folder on the counter. The hearing does not decide where we live tonight, I said. Lily looked between us. But if you get promoted, we might have to leave. We would talk about any move together. Marcus turned from the stove. You always say that after the decision is already made. His voice was mild. That made it worse. Lily, I said, please finish your worksheet. Marcus placed the spoon down. She deserves to understand what is happening. She deserves not to be placed between us. I am not placing her anywhere. Lily's pencil stopped moving. Marcus looked at our daughter. Your mother believes the Navy needs her more than this family does. Marcus, I said. His eyes shifted to me. There it was, the same trap Hale had set in the hearing. Anger first, evidence later. I pulled out a chair and sat. Lily, your father and I disagree about something serious. You do not have to choose a side. Lily stared at the page. Are you getting divorced? No decision has been made, I said. Marcus folded his arms. That depends on what your mother does next. My wedding ring pressed against the bone of my finger. Finish dinner with Lily, I said. Then we will talk privately. Marcus watched me as if waiting for a raised voice that never came. That was when I knew he had rehearsed this moment. After Lily went upstairs, I placed the access report on the table. Marcus did not touch it. You downloaded my messages 6 weeks ago, I said. I reviewed what was already available to me. You deleted the security alert. I cleared clutter from a shared inbox. You sent the files to Hale. He asked for context. For what? Marcus leaned against the counter. To protect you from taking a position you are not ready for. A laugh rose in my throat, sharp and dry. But I swallowed it. You told a promotion board I was unstable to protect me? I told Hale you were under pressure. You gave him a recording of me crying after Lily was hospitalized. You threatened to expose me. I told you I would not let you use our daughter against me. Marcus rubbed both hands over his face. You hear yourself, Danielle? Everything becomes an operation. Every disagreement becomes a threat assessment. Did Hale promise you something? His hands stopped. I had not expected the question to land so cleanly. Marcus turned toward the stove and switched off a burner that was already off. No. Your company is missing payroll. His shoulders tightened. Stay out of my business. Your business called this afternoon. Olivia had no right to contact you. She did not contact me. Her message appeared on your phone. Marcus looked toward the hallway. What did it say? That the bridge payment will not cover payroll through Friday. He said nothing. And that Hale's contract is still unsigned. The refrigerator motor clicked off. The silence that followed seemed to press against the walls. Marcus pulled out a chair. You do not understand how government contracting works. Explain it. There is no contract with Hale. Then why is his name attached to it? He made an introduction. To whom? A strategic logistics group. What does he receive? Nothing. What do you receive? Marcus's jaw hardened. A chance to keep 23 people employed. The number landed between us. So you gave him my private records. I gave him enough to slow you down. The admission came so quietly I almost missed it. Why? Marcus looked at the staircase. Because if your promotion package moves forward, the rescue citation gets reviewed. My skin went cold. You knew. I knew there were inconsistencies. You told me the archive was gone. I told you nothing useful remained. Marcus, what is on that recording? His eyes met mine for the first time. You already heard enough. He pushed away from the table and walked toward the garage. I followed as far as the doorway. Where are you going? To clear my head. The garage door rose with a grinding metallic groan. Marcus backed out without looking at me. 10 minutes later, Lily came downstairs holding his phone charger. "Dad forgot this," she said. I took it from her. "I will put it in his car." The garage still smelled of hot rubber and motor oil. Marcus's second car sat beneath a layer of dust. His daily car was gone, but the black equipment case he used for client meetings remained beside the wall. The charger cable had slipped behind it. When I moved the case, a brown envelope slid across the concrete. I did not open a locked container. I did not search a device. The envelope lay unsealed, its contents already half exposed. A draft agreement carried the name of Marcus's company and a defense contractor I recognized from Hale's professional network. No sentence mentioned me. No clause referred to my hearing. The effective date depended on one event: Russell Hale's formal appointment to the Strategic Logistics Advisory Council. My phone vibrated. A message preview appeared from Olivia. "Do you still want us to wait until after the hearing before signing?" I photographed the draft exactly where it lay, then returned it to the envelope. Inside the house, Lily called my name. Before I could answer, another message appeared. This one came from Marcus. "Do not touch anything in my office." I stared at the words. He knew I was close. What he did not know was that I had finally stopped asking whether my husband had betrayed me. Now I needed to know how long he had been planning it, and what he expected Hale to give him when I fell. The garage light clicked off behind me, leaving the brown envelope in darkness. Inside, Lily stood at the bottom of the stairs in pink socks, holding the banister with both hands. "Did Dad leave because of the hearing?" she asked. I closed the garage door and placed his charger on the counter. "Your father left because he did not want to answer me." "That means yes." Her voice was small but not childish. At 13, Lily had already learned that adults often wrapped truth in softer words when they wanted children to stop asking. I crossed the kitchen and lowered myself into the chair beside her. "Something happened between your father and me," I said. "It involves my work, but it is not your fault and it is not your job to fix." Lily looked toward the empty driveway. "Dad said you might destroy everything he built." The garlic sauce had cooled in the pan. A greasy skin covered the surface. The smell that had seemed warm an hour earlier now turned my stomach. "What did he say I was going to destroy?" "His company, our house, his reputation." Each answer sounded rehearsed. I kept my hands folded. "Did he tell you why?" Lily shook her head. "He said you would make it sound complicated." A car passed outside, tires hissing over damp pavement. "Go upstairs," I said gently. "Take your inhaler with you." "I am not having trouble breathing." "Take it anyway." She watched me for another second, then climbed the stairs. I waited until her bedroom door closed before I opened the locked cabinet beneath my desk. The report from the rescue operation lay inside a gray archival folder. I had kept my personal copy through every move, every promotion, every deployment. The paper smelled faintly of dust and old toner. My signature crossed the bottom of the final page in blue ink. For 12 years, I had remembered that signature as proof I told the truth. I spread the report across the desk. The first paragraph described the convoy as a logistics movement compromised by hostile activity. The next section listed communication failures, damaged vehicles, and shifting route conditions. Then I reached the decision timeline. At 2140, Eastern Passage confirmed by Coordination Cell. At 2143, Command authorized movement east. At 2146, route adjusted through Coordinated Leadership Response. Coordinated Leadership Response. My fingers stopped on the phrase. That was not what I had written. I found my field notebook in the same folder. The cover was scarred from rain and heat. Inside, my handwriting leaned sharply across the page. Eastern route unconfirmed. Marcus reports green, despite yellow system flag. Hale orders command vehicle extracted first. I assume emergency routing authority. West Passage open for less than 8 minutes. All vehicles moved together. The words were mine. The memory was mine. But the official report had turned my decision into something shared, vague, and safe. A soft knock came from the doorway. Lily stood there again. "Mom, Dad is calling me." "Answer him. He wants me to go to Aunt Renee's house tomorrow." My throat tightened. "Did he say why?" "He said you need space." I stood slowly. "Tell him I will discuss any plans for you directly with him." Lily looked down at her phone. "He says you always do that." "Do what?" "Turn everything into rules." I almost smiled, though nothing was funny. Rules are useful when people stop being honest. Lily stared at me, then pressed the phone to her chest. "Are you saying Dad is lying?" "I am saying I need facts before I answer that." Her eyes filled, but she blinked the tears back. I hate this. So do I. She went upstairs without another word. The next morning, I requested the archived mission package through official channels. Rear Admiral Cole had already authorized preservation, so the records office released the available versions to the legal advisor and copied me through secure access. The digital folder contained 3 drafts. The earliest version matched my notebook almost word for word. Eastern route remains unconfirmed due delayed satellite verification. Commander Brooks rejects Eastern withdrawal recommendation. Commander Brooks directs convoy west and delays command vehicle extraction until final transport clears exposure zone. The second draft softened Marcus's role. The third removed it. By the final version, the warning flag had become a system malfunction. Hale's demand for priority extraction had disappeared. My order had become a coordinated adjustment. A version history listed the editor who made the changes. Captain Russell Hale. Below his name appeared an approval entry from the coordination cell. Marcus Brooks. My husband had not merely allowed the truth to fade. He had signed beneath the erasure. I printed nothing. Instead, I saved the secure reference numbers and called Marcus. He answered immediately. Where is Lily? He asked. At school. You should let her stay with Renee tonight. No. Danielle, she should not be around this. She is around it because you brought it into our home. His voice hardened. What are you accusing me of now? I found the mission drafts. Silence. Not surprise. Recognition. You were not supposed to have access to those. That is your concern? My concern is that you are digging through a classified event because you are angry at me. The records office released them under the review. Marcus breathed out slowly. You are going to ruin yourself. The first draft says the eastern route was unconfirmed. Conditions changed every minute. You marked it confirmed. I relayed what I had. You approved the final report after Hale removed my order. You signed it too. I signed the version placed in front of me after submitting my own statement. That is not how anyone will see it. The threat came quietly. I leaned back in my chair. How will they see it, Marcus? As a wife trying to destroy her husband because her promotion got delayed. You gave Hale my counseling records. I gave him context. You approved a false report. I approved a report that protected the unit. It protected you. His voice rose. You got everyone home. You got the citation. You got the career. What else did you want? The office walls seemed to draw inward. The truth. You already won. That is what you think this is? I think you have spent 12 years acting like you were the only person in that operation who mattered. I closed my eyes. There it was. Not guilt. Resentment. My survival, my promotion, every step forward had become evidence against him. You left the Navy because you wanted to, I said. I left because there was nowhere for me to go after that report. The report protected you. It made me look irrelevant. You confirmed an unsafe route. I made one call under pressure. And I spent 12 years making sure that one call did not define you. Marcus laughed without humor. No, Danielle. You spent 12 years making sure everyone remembered you corrected it. The line went dead. For several seconds, I listened to nothing. Then, an email notification appeared on my secure screen. Rear Admiral Cole requested my presence in the records review room. A secondary communications file had been located under an equipment failure code. The archive team believed it might contain the missing portion of the rescue transmission. My pulse quickened. A second email arrived before I could stand. This one came from Lily's school account. An attachment had been scanned from a page accidentally mixed into her homework. The page was an email from Marcus to Hale. I opened it. Russell. I attached the counseling confirmation and the kitchen audio. Will this be enough to delay the board? Hale's reply appeared beneath it. It establishes a pattern. Keep her focused on defending her emotions. Once she is delayed, the old extraction review stays closed. The room turned very still. Marcus had not betrayed me because Hale pressured him. He had asked Hale whether the betrayal was enough. I read the exchange. The message carried a timestamp from 6 weeks earlier, the night Marcus accessed my account. Below the thread sat one sentence from Hale. When her package is stopped, my appointment proceeds. Your agreement can move after that. The language was careful. Yet the sequence made my fingertips numb. My husband needed Hale's appointment. Hale needed the rescue file buried. Both men needed me discredited before anyone reopened the mission. A knock sounded. Rear Admiral Cole entered holding an evidence sleeve. Commander Brooks, she said. The archive team authenticated the equipment code. She placed the sleeve on the table. Inside was a label bearing my backup radio's serial number. Is the recording complete? I asked. Complete enough to establish who gave the order, she said. Her expression tightened. And complete enough to establish who falsely confirmed the route. Marcus's voice was no longer buried. It was preserved in the system he thought had forgotten him. Rear Admiral Cole did not touch the evidence sleeve again. The recording remains sealed until legal completes the chain review, she said. You may listen once, with counsel present. When? Now. The records room was colder than the hallway. Air hissed through the vents. A technician placed a speaker beside the mission timeline. The screen showed the serial number from my backup radio. A legal officer sat to my left. Rear Admiral Cole remained across from me. The technician pressed play. Static filled the room. Wind and distant gunfire moved through the speaker. Then Hale's voice broke through. Command vehicle is pinned. We need extraction now. My hands tightened beneath the table. Another voice answered from the coordination cell. Eastern corridor remains yellow. Satellite confirmation pending. Marcus spoke next. Eastern route is green. The technician paused the file. Rear Admiral Cole looked at me. Is that your husband? Yes, Admiral. The recording resumed. A warning tone sounded in the background. Someone in the coordination cell asked whether the route was confirmed or projected. Marcus hesitated. Then he said, confirmed. For 12 years I had blamed damaged sensors and chaos. Marcus had let me. The tape continued. My own voice came through. Younger but unmistakable. Negative. Ground report shows movement across the eastern choke point. Redirect west. Hale answered immediately. Brooks, extract command first. The remaining vehicles can follow. No, sir, my recorded voice said. Nobody leaves until the last transport clears. Then Hale shouted, my vehicle cannot hold this position. My voice stayed level. West Passage is open for less than 8 minutes. All vehicles move together. Command vehicle falls into third position. Smoke returned to my nose. My radio pressed against my gloved palm. Heat pushed through the floor beneath my boots. I could hear wounded men breathing behind me and the engine knocking under the hood. The tape reached the final crossing. A driver reported the last transport clear. Then Hale said, command vehicle is out. Brooks, your route got us through. The technician stopped the file. Rear Admiral Cole folded her hands. Captain Hale knew who saved him. Yes, Admiral. He also knew the official report did not reflect that. Yes. Rear Admiral Cole asked, why did you not challenge the final report? I submitted an accurate statement. By the time the consolidated version reached me, the operation had been classified, the unit had returned, and I was told the wording protected everyone from a prolonged inquiry. Who told you? Marcus. Rear Admiral Cole nodded to the technician. Play the routing segment again. Marcus's voice filled the room once more. Eastern route is green. A warning sounded behind him. Yellow status. Confirmation pending. He had not misunderstood the display. He had spoken over it. Commander Brooks, did your husband have authority to upgrade projected data to confirmed? No. Did Captain Hale know that? He should have. Rear Admiral Cole corrected me. Did he know? I listened to the next portion. Hale asked Marcus directly whether he was certain. Marcus replied, I stand by it. Yes, I said. He knew. The file ended. Rear Admiral Cole sealed the speaker controls. The review board will reconvene after council examines the private records, contract relationship, and mission report versions. Until then, you are not to confront either man about this recording. I understand. Commander, that instruction exists to protect the investigation, not your marriage. My marriage is already part of the investigation, I said. Outside the records room, my phone showed 6 missed calls from Marcus and 1 from Lily's school. I called the school first. The attendance clerk answered, Commander Brooks, Lily was picked up early by her father. He was not authorized to change today's plan. He is listed as a parent. Where did he say he was taking her? He said his sister's house. I called Lily. She answered on the 3rd ring. Mom, are you safe? Yes. Are you with Aunt Renee? Yes. Did Dad tell you he was picking you up? Not until he came. Marcus's voice sounded in the background. Put me on speaker. Lily obeyed. Marcus spoke calmly. She needs distance from this. You removed her from school without telling me. I am her father. You are also the subject of an investigation involving my private records. Lily inhaled sharply. Marcus's tone changed. Danielle, do not discuss adult accusations in front of our daughter. You brought her into it when you took her. I brought her somewhere stable. Lily, I said, go into another room. Marcus interrupted. She stays. No, Lily said. I do not want to hear you fight, she said. I am going upstairs. Marcus lowered his voice. You think a recording makes you untouchable. I think it proves you lied. It proves I made a call 12 years ago. It proves you called unverified data confirmed. You saved everyone. That does not erase what you did. It should have ended there. For you, maybe. Marcus breathed heavily. You keep pushing this, Danielle, and every part of our life becomes evidence. You already made it evidence. He ended the call. A message arrived from my bank before I reached the parking lot. A transfer had been initiated from our joint savings account to Marcus's business account. I opened the banking application. Nearly all of the available balance was pending transfer. My first impulse was to cancel it. Instead, I called the family attorney whose number the legal officer had given me. She instructed me not to move shared funds in retaliation. She told me to preserve the alert, request a transaction hold based on a marital dispute, and open an individual account for future pay. At the bank, the manager printed the transfer request and placed a temporary review on it. Your husband initiated this less than an hour ago, she said. Can he complete it without my approval? Not while the dispute review is active. I signed the acknowledgement. Marcus had taken Lily, tried to move our savings, and warned that our life would become evidence. He was no longer trying to keep me quiet. He was trying to make silence the price of getting my daughter and money back. When I returned home, the front door stood unlocked. Marcus waited in the kitchen. My wedding photograph lay face down on the table. Where is Lily? I asked. With Renee. You will bring her home. Not tonight. You transferred our savings. I protected my company. With family money. Family money keeps this family fed. My pay has done that for years. His mouth tightened. There it is. What? The reminder that you outrank me, out-earn me, and saved the man who could have made my career. You gave Hale false information before I ever outranked you. Marcus stepped closer. He asked for certainty. I gave him certainty. You gave him a lie. I gave him what commanders need. And people almost died. But they did not. You approved the altered report, I said. His face went still. You heard the full recording. It was not a question. I said nothing. Marcus laughed once. Hale should have destroyed that channel. The word struck harder than a confession. Destroyed. You knew it existed, I said. Marcus looked away. Before I could press him, the doorbell rang. Olivia Grant stood on the porch clutching a laptop bag. Her face was pale, and rain dotted her coat. Marcus moved behind me. What are you doing here? He asked. Olivia looked at him, then at me. I came because you told accounting to classify Hale's bridge payment as ordinary consulting revenue. Marcus's voice sharpened. Leave. I will not take responsibility for fraud, you ordered. Marcus stepped toward the door. I moved between them. Olivia, are you willing to speak with counsel? Yes, she said, but there is more. Marcus swore under his breath. Olivia opened her laptop bag and removed a printed meeting notice. The contract calls were recorded under company policy, she said. Everyone heard the notice at the start. Marcus's face lost color. Olivia continued. You and Hale forgot to leave the meeting after the others signed off. What did the recording capture? I asked. Olivia looked directly at Marcus. Enough to show the contract depended on your hearing. My phone rang. Rear Admiral Cole's name appeared on the screen. When I answered, her voice was controlled. Commander Brooks, the review board has been recalled. Captain Hale and your husband have both been ordered to appear. Marcus stared at me. Rear Admiral Cole continued. We reconvene tomorrow morning. Marcus waited until I ended the call. Then he said, if you walk into that room, you will not have a family to come home to. I removed my wedding ring. The skin beneath it was pale and tender. Our family disappeared before I knew what to call what you did, I said. I placed the ring beside the overturned wedding photograph. His hands had begun trembling. For the first time, Marcus looked afraid. Marcus stared at my bare hand as if the missing ring had struck him. Olivia remained on the porch, rain darkening her coat. Her laptop bag hung from one hand. I opened the door wider. Come inside, Olivia, I said. Marcus stepped in front of me. She is not bringing company records into this house. Olivia tightened her grip. They are part of an internal compliance review now. Marcus looked at me. You arranged this. No, I said. You created it. Olivia removed a printed notice from her bag. Russell Hale's bridge payment came through a contractor that has never purchased a service from us. You told me to code it as consulting revenue. Then you ordered me not to execute the larger agreement until after Danielle's hearing. Marcus's face hardened. That was scheduling. You said her delay would remove the conflict. I said Hale's appointment would remove uncertainty. Olivia held up the notice. The meeting was recorded under company policy. Everyone heard the announcement before anyone spoke. Marcus's eyes dropped to the page. Fear broke through for 1 second. Then he recovered. You stayed after your portion ended. I muted my camera to review numbers, Olivia said. You and Hale remained connected. Neither of you left. The system kept recording. Marcus laughed once. So you listened to a private conversation? No. Compliance reviewed an automatically stored business meeting after you tried to make me responsible for the payment. I stepped aside. Olivia entered and placed her laptop on the kitchen table. My wedding photograph still lay face down beside the ring. She did not open the recording. We need counsel present, she said. I came because Marcus started deleting access to the accounting folders. Marcus struck a chair with his palm. I was protecting proprietary information. You removed my permissions after I refused to alter the ledger, Olivia said. My phone vibrated. Lily had sent a message. Mom, Dad says you are trying to have him arrested. The letters blurred. Marcus saw my face. Do not drag her deeper into this, he said. You told her I was trying to have you arrested. She asked why Olivia was coming. Lily is at Renee's house. How did she know Olivia was coming? Marcus did not answer. Olivia closed her bag. I will meet you and counsel at the review tomorrow, she said. Marcus pointed toward the door. You are finished at my company. Olivia looked at him. No, Marcus. Your company may be finished because of you. She left. The deadbolt turned beneath Marcus's hand. You still have time to stop this, he said. Stop what? Tell Cole you misunderstood the emails. Tell her the counseling records came from a concerned husband. You asked Hale whether they were enough to delay me. You were not ready for Captain. You do not believe that. I believe pressure changes people. You needed my promotion stopped because Hale needed the rescue file buried. Marcus walked toward the sink. You are turning fragments into a conspiracy. The contract activates when Hale gets the advisory seat. That is a normal contingency. Olivia says you ordered her to wait until after my hearing. Because Hale's appointment was not final. And it would not become final if the rescue review reopened. Marcus gripped the counter. You have no idea what that company carries. Debt? People. Families. Payroll. You used our savings to protect it. I used our savings to protect our future. You used my private messages to protect your contract. He spun around. I gave Hale what nobody at work ever sees. What does nobody see? How cold you become. How every room turns into a command center. How every conversation ends with you deciding what is true. I touched the pale strip where my ring had been. You recorded me after Lily's hospital visit. You threatened me. I told you not to use our daughter as leverage. You said everyone would know what I did. What did you think I meant? Marcus looked away. That was answer enough. I went upstairs to pack my uniform. The brass buttons felt cold beneath my fingers. From downstairs came the scrape of a drawer, then another. Marcus stood in his office holding a portable drive. What are you doing? I asked, backing up client files. Olivia said you were deleting access. She is protecting herself. So are you. Marcus slipped the drive into his pocket. Do not make me the villain because Hale used bad judgment. You gave him the weapon. You handed it to me every time you spoke like I was beneath you. I stared at him. He had finally said it plainly. Not concern, not family, punishment. My phone vibrated again. Lily had sent a photograph of a message thread on Marcus's tablet. Russell Hale had written, "She will react harder if you mention race." Marcus had replied, "Make the quota point early. She will spend the hearing defending herself." Below it, Lily wrote one line. "Why did Dad want him to hurt you?" I sat on the bed. Marcus entered behind me. "What did she send?" I locked the screen. "Ask her." His expression changed. "You are poisoning her against me. She found your message." Marcus reached for my phone. I stood. "Do not touch me." His hand stopped between us. Then he lowered it. "That message does not mean what you think. It means you planned the insult. It means Hale knew how emotional you become when race enters the room. You wanted me emotional because you needed the board to see instability. You are proving my point." My voice stayed quiet. "No. I am refusing to let you rename anger as illness after you manufactured the injury." Marcus stepped back. My phone rang. Rear Admiral Cole's legal advisor instructed me to report to a secure conference room before the review. Olivia and company counsel would present the recorded meeting. Marcus was ordered not to contact Hale. I ended the call. "What did they find?" Marcus asked. "You will hear it tomorrow. Danielle, Hale made promises he could not keep. I was trying to save the company. You were trying to save yourself. The company is me. That is the first honest thing you have said. He picked up my wedding ring and rubbed his thumb across the band. We can still walk into that room together, he said. We tell them Hale manipulated both of us. You sent him the files, he asked. You asked whether they were enough. I panicked. For 6 weeks? Marcus closed his fingers around the ring. Think about Lily. I am. She will lose her home. Only if you keep using it as collateral. She will lose her father. She is losing trust in you because she read your words. His shoulders sagged, then the softness vanished. If you go through with this, I will give Hale the kitchen recording. He already has it. Not the full version. I stopped. Marcus smiled without warmth. You think your backup protects you. You said enough. The warning confirmed that they planned to use an edited version. I picked up my service coat. Play whatever you want. At dawn, I met Olivia and the legal advisor in a secure conference room. A red recording symbol glowed on the screen. The platform announced, "This meeting is being recorded." Hale's face appeared in one window. Marcus occupied another. Both remained after the contractor representatives left. Marcus's recorded voice said, "She will not react unless you push the right issue." Hale answered, "Use the quota issue. Keep her defending her emotions. If she raises her voice, the board sees what we need." Marcus asked, "And the advisory appointment?" "Once her review is delayed, the extraction file stays closed," Hale said. "The appointment moves forward. Your contract moves with it." Marcus leaned closer to his camera. "Then we only need her to lose control once." The recording ended. Olivia sat rigid beside me. The legal advisor closed the file. Commander Brooks, Captain Hale, submitted the kitchen audio overnight. Edited? We believe so. Your cloud backup contains a longer version. Through the glass wall, Hale was already seated inside the review chamber. Marcus stood behind him, holding the folder that contained my private life. Behind the glass, fluorescent light made every polished surface look cold and unforgiving again. Rear Admiral Cole entered and placed an audio device on the table. Hale threw my service file down before her. "You are not here because of merit," he said. "You are here to fill a quota." Rear Admiral Cole rested one finger on the play button. This time, Hale did not know what she was about to play. Rear Admiral Cole pressed the button. Static flooded the chamber, followed by engines and a warning tone I had not heard in 12 years without waking cold. "Command vehicle is pinned," Hale's recorded voice said. "We need extraction now." Nobody moved. A second voice reported that the eastern corridor remained yellow and satellite confirmation was pending. Then Marcus spoke. "Eastern route is green." The warning tone continued beneath him. On the recording, someone asked, "Confirmed or projected?" Marcus hesitated. "Confirmed." My younger voice cut through the noise. "Negative. Ground report shows movement across the eastern choke point. Redirect west." Hale's recorded voice sharpened. "Brooks, extract command first. Remaining vehicles can follow." "No, sir," I answered from the speaker. "Nobody leaves until the last transport clears. West Passage is open for less than 8 minutes. All vehicles move together." A driver reported one damaged transport falling behind. I ordered the command vehicle into third position and sent the recovery truck to the rear. Hale argued once more. "My vehicle cannot hold." "You will hold," my recorded voice said. "We bring everyone home." The tape carried the convoy across the final stretch. Tires struck broken pavement. Men shouted coordinates. A wounded sailor cried out behind the radio. Then came the sentence Hale had spent years pretending did not exist. "Command vehicle is clear," his recorded voice said. "Brooks, your route got us through." Rear Admiral Cole stopped the audio. Silence settled over the table. Hale's face had gone gray. "That was a chaotic operation," he said. "People say things under fire that do not reflect the complete command picture." Rear Admiral Cole folded her hands. "Did Commander Brooks's route move your vehicle out of the kill zone?" "My point is that no single officer can claim ownership of a coordinated withdrawal." "That was not my question." Hale glanced toward Marcus. "Yes," he said, "her route was used." Rear Admiral Cole placed 2 mission reports side by side. The earliest draft states that Commander Brooks rejected the eastern withdrawal, assumed emergency routing authority, and directed the convoy west. She touched the final report. This version calls it a coordinated leadership response. "Captain Hale, the version history identifies you as the editor." I standardized operational language. "You removed your request for priority extraction." It was irrelevant once the convoy cleared. "You removed the warning that the eastern route was unconfirmed." That detail was disputed. Rear Admiral Cole turned toward Marcus. Commander Brooks's husband approved the revised report. Mr. Brooks, stand. Marcus rose behind Hale. Did you classify the eastern route as confirmed? She asked. I relayed the best information available. Did the system display confirmation? It displayed multiple indicators. Was the route confirmed? Marcus looked at me. No. A quiet breath moved through the board. Did you approve a report that removed the warning status? Rear Admiral Cole asked. I approved language intended to protect operational security. The legal advisor placed the access log on the screen. 6 weeks ago, a device registered to Marcus Brooks accessed Commander Brooks's personal account. Counseling confirmations, family messages, and an audio file were downloaded. The security notification was deleted. Marcus gripped his chair. We shared the account. The account belonged to Commander Brooks, the advisor replied. The shared inbox only received the notice. Marcus shifted his explanation. My wife was under pressure. Captain Hale requested context. Rear Admiral Cole said, so you did provide the files. Marcus realized the change too late. I provided information as a concerned spouse. Hale turned toward him. You told me those materials were voluntarily shared. You knew where they came from, Marcus said. I knew what you represented. Their alliance cracked in front of us. Hale reached for the kitchen recording. This proves Commander Brooks threatened retaliation against her husband. He played the shortened file. If you ever use Lily against me again, I will make sure everyone knows what you did. The clip ended. That is not emotional control, Hale said. That is coercion. Rear Admiral Cole nodded to the legal advisor. The complete recording began. Marcus's voice came first. If you keep pushing for Captain, Lily will understand that you chose rank over her. Do not use our daughter to punish me, I answered. She already sees what you are. If you ever use Lily against me again, I will make sure everyone knows what you did. The file continued. Marcus said, Hale already has enough to delay you. The chamber went still. Hale turned on Marcus. You said that portion was not preserved. Marcus's mouth opened. No words came. Rear Admiral Cole asked Olivia to enter. Olivia brought a laptop and a company compliance officer. The officer confirmed that contract meetings were automatically recorded. Every participant had heard the announcement and remained connected. A red symbol appeared on the screen. This meeting is being recorded, the platform announced. The contractor representatives left. Olivia muted her camera. Marcus and Hale remained. Marcus's recorded voice said, She will not react unless you push the right issue. Hale answered, Use the quota issue. Keep her defending her emotions. If she raises her voice, the board sees what we need. Marcus asked, And the advisory appointment? Once her review is delayed, the extraction file stays closed, Hale said. The appointment moves forward. Your contract moves with it. Marcus replied. Then we only need her to lose control once. The recording stopped. Every eye remained on the two men who had planned to turn my anger into proof against me. The compliance officer displayed the draft agreement. It became effective only after Hale's appointment to the Strategic Logistics Advisory Council. Accounting records showed a bridge payment from an intermediary connected to Hale. Hale pushed back from the table. This is an outrageous interpretation of ordinary business. Marcus pointed at him. You promised the appointment was secure. Hale snapped. You brought me stolen personal material. You asked for anything that would delay her. Because you said she was unstable. Because you said the rescue review would destroy both of us. Rear Admiral Cole struck the table once. Both men stopped. She looked first at Hale. Your complaint against Commander Brooks is unsupported, retaliatory, and contaminated by material obtained outside lawful personnel channels. Effective immediately, you are removed from advisory participation pending administrative investigation. Surrender your access credentials before leaving. Hale's lips parted. Admiral, you cannot erase 30 years of service over one disputed report. No one is erasing your service, Rear Admiral Cole said. We are examining what you did with it. She turned toward Marcus. Your conduct and the contract records are being referred to the appropriate investigative authorities. The associated procurement review is suspended. Marcus looked at me. Danielle, say something. I held his gaze. For years, I had spoken when his mistakes threatened others and stayed quiet when consequences threatened him. That arrangement was over. Hale stood. You are going to end my career after I trusted your judgment that night? I rose slowly. You did not trust my judgment, I said. You begged for your life, then buried the order that saved it. I was under fire. So was everyone you wanted me to leave behind. Hale lowered his voice. I have a family. So did every person in that convoy. A security officer approached for his credentials. "You saved my life," Hale said. "Does that mean nothing to you?" "It means I did my duty." I stepped closer. "I saved your life. I never promised to save your lie." The officer escorted Hale toward the door. Marcus followed me into the corridor before security redirected him. "Danielle, wait." I stopped, but did not turn. "Lily is gone," he said. Every muscle in my back locked. "What do you mean gone?" "She left Renee's house." I faced him. "When?" "Renee found the guest room empty 10 minutes ago." My phone vibrated. A message from Lily appeared. "Mom, I am safe. I went to Maya's house. There is something in Dad's office you need to see." Below it was a photograph of a small black drive in her palm. Marcus saw the screen. All the color left his face. "That does not belong to her," he whispered. I looked at him. "What is on it?" Marcus stepped back. For the first time that morning, he seemed more afraid of the truth waiting at home than the investigation already behind him alone. Lily's message ended with an address I recognized. Maya lived 3 streets from Renee, close enough for Lily to walk without crossing the highway. I called Maya's mother before I did anything else. "She is here," Denise said. "She is shaken, but she is safe." "Keep her with you," I said. "Do not let Marcus pick her up." Denise hesitated. "Danielle, should I call the police?" "Not unless he comes there and refuses to leave." "I am on my way." Marcus stood near the corridor wall, watching my face. "Give me the phone," he said. "No. That drive contains company material. You do not know what Lily found. I know what she had no right to touch. She found it in your office while getting her school tablet." Marcus lowered his voice. "You are teaching her to invade privacy. You invaded mine and handed it to a man who wanted to destroy me." A security officer approached. "Mr. Brooks, you need to remain available for instructions." Marcus looked past him toward me. "Danielle, do not open that drive." "I will not." Relief flickered across his face. "I will give it to counsel." The relief vanished. I left before he could answer. Rain tapped against the windshield while I drove. My palms smelled faintly of brass from the buttons on my uniform. The empty place where my ring had rested burned whenever I tightened my grip. Denise opened the door before I reached the porch. Lily sat on the sofa with her knees drawn to her chest. The black drive rested inside a clear sandwich bag on the coffee table. I knelt in front of her. "Are you hurt?" "No." "Did anyone follow you?" "No." "Why did you leave Aunt Renee's?" Lily rubbed the cuff of her sweatshirt between her fingers. "Dad kept calling her. He told her you were trying to ruin him. Then he told me not to believe anything you said." Her eyes moved toward the bag. "I went into his office because my school tablet was there. The drawer was open. That drive had my name written on the label." I looked closer. A strip of white tape crossed the plastic casing. "Lily, back up. Did you plug it into anything?" "No. Dad always says never to use drives you do not recognize." "You did the right thing by bringing it to an adult," I said. "But from now on, you do not enter his office or touch anything related to the investigation." "I thought it had my photos." "I understand." Lily stared at my bare hand. "Are you leaving, Dad?" "Yes." The word landed between us without protection. Tears filled her eyes. "Because of me?" "No. Because of choices he made before you knew there was a choice. He says you care more about winning. I care about telling the truth." "What if the truth sends him to jail?" I sat beside her. "Then that consequence comes from what he did, not from you finding a drive." She leaned against me, stiff at first, then shaking. "I still love him," she whispered. "You are allowed to." "Are you?" My throat tightened. "I can remember loving your father and still refuse to live with what he became." Denise brought an evidence envelope from her home office. I sealed the bag, signed across the flap, and called the legal advisor. An investigator collected it less than an hour later. I did not ask to see what was inside. 3 days later, my attorney told me the contents had been copied through forensic procedures. The drive held archived route data from the rescue mission. Marcus had saved the original warning screen showing the eastern corridor marked unconfirmed. He had also saved an early message from Hale. "Clean up the language before consolidation. No individual routing error should remain in the final report." Marcus had replied, "Understood." Brooks submitted her own statement. "I will handle the coordination approval." Another folder contained years of emails between them. Hale had introduced Marcus to clients, helped him secure meetings, and reminded him more than once that their careers were tied to the same version of the rescue. The contract was payment on an old debt. Hale lost his advisory role immediately. His pending appointment disappeared before his name reached the final approval list. The service opened a formal review of the rescue report, his complaint against me, and the benefits attached to the story he had promoted for years. His retirement grade was placed under review based on the highest grade in which he had served satisfactorily. 2 surviving members of the convoy submitted sworn statements describing my order and Hale's demand to be extracted first. Hale sent me a letter through counsel. He wrote that combat stress had affected his memory. He asked me to acknowledge that his actions came from trauma rather than malice. I returned the letter unsigned. A week later, he called from an unfamiliar number. "You know I would have died without you," Hale said. "Yes. You could tell them I was not myself. You edited the report after you were safe." Silence filled the line. "I have a family," he said. "So did every person you wanted left behind. Danielle, I am asking for mercy. I saved your life once. I will not save your reputation." I ended the call. Marcus's company collapsed more slowly. The contract was suspended. Clients withdrew. Olivia resigned after giving investigators the accounting records and meeting archive. The intermediary payment was traced, and the procurement office barred Marcus from participating in future government work while the case proceeded. He sold the office lease, then the equipment, then the second car. Our divorce moved through the court without drama, because my lawyer refused every attempt to turn the investigation into a negotiation over silence. Shared assets were divided under the law. Business losses tied to Marcus remained with the business. He received penalties, supervised probation, and a lengthy ban from government contracting after accepting responsibility for unauthorized access, false representations, and procurement misconduct. Our final meeting happened in my attorney's conference room. Marcus looked thinner. His suit hung loosely at the shoulders. His face barely resembled the man I married. "You can still tell them I misunderstood the account permissions," he said. "You deleted the alert." I panicked. "You downloaded the files." "I was scared." "You sent them to Hale." "I was trying to save what I built." I placed my original rescue statement on the table. "You built your life behind my silence. Then you used that silence to call me weak." Marcus looked toward the closed door. "They are taking everything." "I am not taking anything from you." His eyes reddened. "Then stop them. I am no longer standing between you and what you did." He covered his face with both hands. For years, that sight would have moved me to repair the damage. This time, I let the room remain quiet. Lily did not stop loving him. She also stopped accepting his excuses. During their first supervised family session, Marcus called his actions an attempt to protect everyone. Lily folded her hands in her lap. "I will talk to you when you stop calling it protection," she said. He looked at me for help. I gave him none. My promotion review resumed after the tainted material was removed. The board examined my command record, the authenticated rescue tape, and the corrected mission findings. 6 months after Hale threw my file across the table, I stood in the same building for my promotion ceremony. The room smelled of polished wood and fresh coffee. My new uniform collar felt stiff against my neck. This time, Lily sat in the front row. Marcus's chair remained empty. Rear Admiral Cole handed me the corrected rescue report before pinning on my new insignia. The first page named the eastern route as unconfirmed. It recorded Hale's request for priority extraction. It stated that I assumed emergency routing authority, redirected the convoy west, and ordered every vehicle home together. My name appeared beside the decision. Danielle Brooks. Not coordinated leadership, not shared judgment, not quota. After the ceremony, members of the convoy approached one by one. Some shook my hand. Others simply stood close, their eyes saying what 12 years of altered paperwork had refused to say. Lily waited until the room emptied. "Does it feel like you won?" she asked. I looked at the corrected report in my hands. "No," I said. "It feels like I stopped losing pieces of myself to protect people who were willing to erase me." She slipped her arm through mine. Outside, sunlight spread across the steps. The air smelled clean after rain. For years, I believed silence could hold a family together. All it had done was keep the wrong men safe. I closed the report and held it against my uniform. This time, my name stayed on the page, and the truth no longer needed me to apologize for it.